After visiting Stonehenge, I managed to find another host through willing workers on organic farms. It was a couple living near the town of Hereford on a property they'd acquired recently. I asked them if their accommodation was a beat-up caravan filled with spiders, and when they said no, I immediately knew this was the place for me. So I caught a train to Hereford to begin a new chapter in the adventure. This is Hereford, a quaint little English town in Herefordshire, surrounded by farms. This is the most English pub in the world. Locals congregate here to whinge about the weather. And finally, this is the town square, which proudly contains a Tudor house from the 1600s, preserved for tourists. In the back is a boutique meth lab that serves customers across the entire Herefordshire area. I spent the first night in the cheapest hotel I could find. It had a shared bathroom and hardly any skid marks on the sheets. Tomorrow, I'll be meeting my woof hosts, Jana and Seb. During my 7-day stay on the farm, I was joined by 3 other woofers that were just staying for the weekend. We had Pete, who was a local blacksmith living in Hereford. Then there were 2 uni students from the city, Beth and Pippa. Finally, we have my hosts, Seb, who is an architect specialising in sustainability, and Jana, who is also a green architect. Jana and Seb moved from London to get out to the countryside and live the good life, and build the sustainable house of their dreams for themselves and their dog, Peggy, who is also a green architect.
We are planning to dig some of this down a bit to level it, and then our house is going to go there, and kind of lining up with the neighbours and the existing cottage, and then we'll have a garden that side, facing the Black Mountains, southwest. So yeah, it's really nice.
How long have you been here?
Since August, so less than a year. And when we arrived, it was like hard mown lawn, the whole thing, 1.5 acres of just lawn, and we've just completely let it go. So it looks a bit messy, but it's really nice to see all the different things popping up, you know. Yeah, and then over here we're going to have our vegetable garden, which again we haven't actually got very far with yet, so it's just really long grass at the moment. But cool. We've started a little patch, put some potatoes in just to see how it goes, but it's not really doing anything yet. We will do this as a no-dig garden. Do you know? Yeah. No-dig, yeah. So we've got loads of cardboard, and we're gonna have to get a lot of manure, because it's all these 4 quadrants, and then we've got the compost heaps that we've got more to build as well along the back there, and then we're going to put solar panels on the top of them, so there'll be like just a single story solar panel thing. Nice. So yeah, that's where we've got to with this, and then up here we're going to build a little barn type thing here, and this will all be driveway, and we're going to replace the garages that are there at the moment with a new kind of workshop, which is, my dad's calling it his super shed, because they're moving here as well, and we're going to build them a house here, and that will basically be his den.
I love your cottage. Really interesting.
It's kind of cute. I mean, it's been played around with quite a lot over the years. And it's certainly not insulated, and it's leaking, and it's, you know, it's not great, but it's got some charms. And in the stone thing there next to the chimney, we think that's an old bread oven.
Oh, okay.
Which is actually quite cool, but it's all closed up inside, so we can't see. And yeah, so then we can walk up to the top. So yeah, this will become a new workshop space, and then we go up to the woofer cabin, which is what used to be a shed over there, and we moved it up here, and we put in new windows and doors and painted it and raised it up a little bit, and we've insulated it and we've plastered it, and I'm making the plaster myself from the ground, so that's me sort of doing lots of experiments with digging clay and filtering it and making the mixes. So yeah, there's lots going on there, but yeah, it's getting there. It's nearly there. It's actually just about good enough for people to sleep in tonight, hopefully.
Oh wow, yeah. This is charming.
It's alright, isn't it? Plaster's not fully dry yet from this on the ceiling, but basically, yeah, nearly there.
Cool. Recycled timber cabin. Well, recycled windows.
Yeah, it's all pretty much recycled. And there's a little, what will be the bedroom is actually in there, but we just haven't finished that bit yet, so that's currently kind of a workshop in progress. And then in this bit will be the kind of kitchenette, living room space. So yeah, once it's finished, it'll be more than just this. And then we've also got a roll top bath, which I just got off eBay for like £18, and that's going to go in here along with a compost loo, which we've made-ish. Again, work in progress, but the loo's in, and
fantastic. We
have tried it.
Did you build this one?
Yeah, it's just a bucket.
Yep.
I mean, we haven't emptied it, so apologies. It's not.
That's all right.
We were going to do that before you got here. Yeah, and then here's going to be a polytunnel, 2 polytunnels, where the rope is. So we can walk this way. We'll probably do a little pizza oven thing here at some point. It's quite a nice spot to sit. And we planted this sort of orchard just last month, so it was a bit late to go in, but we've got see if I can remember, a cherry, a peach and a plum. No, those 2 are plums. I can't remember. Lots of trees, lots of trees. Basically peaches, plums, cherries. We've then got raspberries, strawberries in that little trough. This is the raspberry kind of cage. This will become a chicken run. We're going to actually put a marquee up here which will turn into a chicken run. I got a second-hand marquee. Nice. And then over there is where we're going to have beehives. My dad's a beekeeper, so he's going to bring his bees.
On the farm, the plan was to work 5 days of 5 hours for the week I was there, in exchange for food and accommodation. I really enjoyed the break from travel and like working outside. Each day, Jana would assign me some work and I'd just get it done.
Basically, we need to put a wastewater pipe off the back of it, and that's the starting point. And then at least we can put water into it, even if it's from, filling a kettle or whatever. We've also got, as I say, the marquee we want to put up, which is because we're having a party next weekend, and we're going to use that. So we need to strum the lawn under it, where it's going to go.
Okay, mow the lawn, put the marquee on.
And then I'm going to go to a place the other side of town, a farm where I can get some straw bales, and then we'll use them as seating for my party. So nice. We can do that and put them in the marquee, and that'll be a nice setup. I mean, there are loads of things to do, obviously. It's priorities.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah.
There's all so there's this fence as well. I want to take out, and then we can reuse the bits of wood because we don't actually want a fence there.
Okay, so this is the kitchen sink that I made today. All of that timber was some pretty old stuff over in a pile that was salvaged. And yeah, it's just an outdoor sink, so functional, but it doesn't have to be perfect. And then these are the signs that I made. 10 signs using sticks. And then this is the door I put back together. It had fallen off of its hinges and wouldn't close. So that was my day's work today. That was about 6 hours, and I'm ready to call it a day. That's what you do when you're woofing. The biggest job I did during my woofing stay was assembling this giant marquee. It took a lot longer than I could have guessed it was going to. It wasn't that it was difficult, it was just very time consuming. Putting the legs on and getting the giant roof piece over the marquee took all 6 of us at once, and I think it would have been impossible without at least 4 of us. And then there was cutting the long grass underneath. Now unfortunately, all Seb and Jana had was a basic electric mower designed for maybe doing a light trim of a suburban backyard. It took so many passes over multiple days, but eventually it did get cut.
So we're just going to shut this shelf up on the back so that when you're in the bath you can put your wine glass.
That really doesn't need to be done today then.
I think it does.
It really doesn't. You know what's going to have a bath now?
Well, you say that, but the shower's broken. Alright, I'm going to get in as well, okay? You ready?
Hello. What are you working on?
We are insulating a shed.
Oh, fantastic.
So,
Is that cellulose insulation?
it is. Wood fibre board. So,
Wood fibre board.
yeah. So you can just chop it down with a rail saw and get it exactly the size that you need.
Yeah, it's quite light too.
It's super light. So we've kept the rest of it and we're basically just putting battens to lift it off. So it's got a ventilated cavity down the back of it so that it never gets moist and rots.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've got 3 new windows, so we've got one there, and one there, and they've replaced single glazed windows with double glazed windows, which is cool. And then we're going to insulate the floor and then the roof, and then it's all going to get clay plastered in the same way as that one is. So that is all clay plaster from the garden, mixed with a bit of sand and a bit of offcuts. This stuff from the wood fibre board.
Okay. So once you've insulated that surface, like this surface here is ready to plaster.
Yeah, exactly.
Ah, okay. And so yeah, that's
so Jan does like it's called like a slip coat, which is quite like a wet coat, which impregnates the wood fibre quite well. And that creates a key that you can then plaster over. Otherwise, it doesn't bond with the wood fibre.
Yeah, I was wondering how that worked.
Peel off. And then Jana's little trick as well. You can use where you've got bits like this, where it's going over timber, like timber with insulation.
Right.
You get differential movement and you get cracking. So what they normally do is use like a plastic mesh to create reinforcement. But Jana's solution is to use this hessian.
Hessian, yeah.
And so it's a natural material, but it also provides a degree of resistance to the cracking movement. And yeah, so it's going really, really well.
Fantastic. We can see a finished wall in here.
Yeah, this is really nice.
Very nice, breathable, natural surfaces.
Yeah, with 0 transportation miles straight from the garden.
Wow. Yeah, clay straight from the garden. I love it.
There's a little gate through the hedge that goes round a corner and then over a stile into the field. And it's a really lovely field if you want to go for walks. You can just nip through and then walk up the hill, and it's beautiful. It's like waist high with wildflowers, the whole thing. And when you get to the top, the views, like 360 views all around. It's amazing. And it's right there.
Each day, Jana would take Peggy out for a walk to stretch their legs and discuss green architecture projects they were working on. Occasionally, I would tag along. I come from South Australia. It's a dry place. Most of it is a desert. Seeing the lush, beautiful English countryside in the spring made me realise that I actually live in a barren wasteland, and that the only reason I put up with it is because I have family there. I've really enjoyed my time woofing in Hereford. I needed a break from constantly travelling, a break from cities and from spending so much money on accommodation, which, as a cheapskate, was hurting my soul. The 8 days I spent in Hereford were full of blue skies and chirping birds. The whole experience was just incredibly pleasant. It's comically pleasant here, even a little too pleasant, which is why I knew it was time to get back on the road and back into the filth of this violent, unsustainable, sick, sad world we live in.